Welcome back to that. So Vegas, Christine McKellar here with David Mecey, and we wanted to thank you, Kathy, who's enjoying the interview.
Thanks, Kathy. It's
and
very nice.
Ray, I hope the weather in Boston isn't as hot as it is here in Vegas. And of course, David, you are just one of the most fantastic guests. I mean, you're a font of information and just your whole history.
Thank you.
I
have. You know, what's really funny on Facebook, I have about 3,200, 3,300 followers, and thank you, Instagram. I have over 4,000 now.
Wow.
So, which isn't that many, really, I guess. But for a dude, it's okay. But they all are trying to get me to write a book.
That's interesting. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, they all want me to write a book.
I know you self-published a couple.
But no, they want a book.
A real book.
Yeah, and like the history and the whole thing.
I edit.
Oh, there you go.
That's a little pair to draw, too. Speaking of things, I got to throw some highlights in Vegas that are coming up, and then we're going to get back to David. Don't go away.
Ray from Boston said some nice things.
Oh, well, we like Ray from Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, the humidity's
much better.
It's dry here. Speaking of which, I'm going where it's 20 degrees cooler than in the valley this weekend, so eat your hearts out. The historic Mizpah Hotel in Tonapah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Fabulous it's classic old mining town. It's about 230 miles, I want to say, northeast of Vegas. But the Mizpah Hotel, they're opening a casino. And I love the owners up there. Fred and Nancy Klein, their son Ramsey, is opening a casino club, which is going to be really cool. So I'm going up as a guest this weekend. I'm going to be reviewing the property and telling you more about it. But it's the best little, just get out of Vegas when it's this hot kind of thing going on. And speaking of heat, at the Plaza Hotel downtown, they have this fantastic new pool that they have the whole rooftop. They've converted. It was a pool. Now it's the biggest pool in Vegas.
Nice.
And they're going to have a food truck. Everybody's still trying to figure that out. So what I like about it, it's free for locals if you have an ID and for guests. And they just got a whole lot of stuff going on. And that's going to open up July 2nd. That's actually 70,000 square feet of pool and frolicking. And then real quick, got to talk about Caesar's Palace because they have a 50th anniversary celebration. Can you believe 50 years, Caesar's Palace?
Wow.
It's starting Sunday, July 3rd. With fireworks. Everybody get outside even in the heat at 9 p.m. And then all week long they're having a block party and things of that nature. So they'll be having barbecues. And then August is the actual anniversary, August 5th through the 6th. And they're going to have a ton of champagne and cakes for people only in Las Vegas. I'm telling you. The casinos like to party as much as the residents do. So now, speaking of casinos, we talked about on the break. Sometimes the breaks are just as much fun as the segments, aren't they?
Well, we can talk about things we can't talk to on the public.
Well, we could talk about anything really on the show. It's just what you're willing to talk about, mostly
Yeah,
with the
that's
guests. So you have some plans here that you'd like to integrate and do some kind of showing of your work with a casino, right?
Well, I met with some people here, and I said that I'm going to do a one-man show of some of my beauty work, and some of it is pretty sexy. It's there's a lot of skin, and they're like, oh, you got to do it at a nightclub. That would be the best place.
Seems like a fit.
And so, I'll consider it. I mean, that would be kind of cool to have it at a nightclub and have a show of my work. So, any nightclubs out there that are interested, that might be kind of fun.
Boy, I would be dialing him right off the bat.
but I was going to do it at a gallery in L.A., but I mean, heck, I can do it
in
here.
Vegas is so much
I know.
better. Think
do it
about
here in Vegas, right?
A couple of viewers have a couple comments. Neil's a photography student, and he'd like to know which kind of camera do you shoot with?
I see that he just said he picked up a 5D Mark II. I've worked with that 5D Mark II before. It's a nice little camera. It's for you. I think it's a good one to work with. You can also do some really nice video with it. I would say work on as much as you can with it set at manual. Don't let it do all the work for you. The other thing, I personally shoot with a 5D Mark III. That's the current camera that I use. I mean, there's some newer ones out right now, but for me, the file size is pretty nice. It's very large, not too large, so it doesn't take up a ton of room, but it's pretty big. It's robust. Can do pretty much whatever you need done, up to even a billboard if you need to shoot a billboard with it.
Boy, things have changed.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that with a 5D Mark III. Now, they do have the new 5S, which is a 50 megapixel chip, which is just almost overkill. It's a very sharp, that's very sharp and much better for doing more industrial type work when you're doing product and that kind of thing. But when shooting models, the 5D Mark III is a better choice to me. for skin tones and that sort of thing.
What did you shoot this with? This is an interesting one from your private portfolio.
This was shot on film, actually. This is a picture of Michael Keaton back when he was in the days of Batman. So this was done a long time ago, but I shot him with film. And kind of an interesting story. When shooting the celebrities, because I also photographed Sharon Stone at her house in the Hollywood Hills. The stories behind one of the things that I think people want, the reason that people want me to write a book is because of the behind the scenes stuff that happens. When I got to Michael's house, he lives. Can I say that he lives in the Pacific Palisades?
Sure. Why
Okay,
not?
he lives in the Pacific Palisades.
They
Or
don't
he
have the
did.
gate code.
He did. Maybe he doesn't anymore. So when I got to his house, I get there, I knock on the door. This gentleman opens the door. It's not Michael, and I hear this screaming in the background back in the kitchen, and it's profanities left and right. And the guy goes, "Are you the photographer?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, come on in." So I walk in, and I have my assistant, and we've got my gear, and I hear this screaming, and it was Michael because he was pissed off. They were trying to get him to do the sequel to Batman, and he didn't want to do it. Anyway, he comes. So I set up quickly a light, and so. He walks in and you could see that he's just seething. And I'm like, oh, God, this is not going to be
good.
This is not going to be good. So he comes in and goes, "Where do you want me?" And I'm like, could you just maybe sit right there? And he sits down and he's like this. I mean, yeah, he's like this.
No.
And he's looking at me and he's like, "What do you want me to do?" And I'm like, well, if you could just kind of relax and we'll just chat for a little bit. And he goes, okay. And my assistant was wearing a Dodger cap, a Dodger cap. And he looks at him and he goes, "You really a Dodger fan, or are you just wearing the cap like that?"
No.
And the guy goes, "Yeah, I'm a Dodger fan." He goes, Keaton starts spouting off. "So, who do you like for pitcher? Do you like so and so, so and so?" And the guy goes, "No, I'd rather have so and so, a different one." And Keaton goes, "Really?" And I'm like, so and my assistant's like, "Yeah, because he's got a better sinker and blah blah blah." He starts talking. You think, and they just. All of a sudden, they're like this. They're in a mind meld talking about the Dodgers. And I'm just shooting Michael.
I love it.
And then that's where he suddenly,
the demeanor.
Everything changed. It just, the heat washed away, and he's like, yeah, and he's like sparkling in his eye. He's got
He is sparkling.
He's got a smile.
Pick. I mean,
he's happy, and you notice he's looking to my right. Well, that was my assistant.
That's
so
wonderful.
we shot for about 20-30 minutes, and I go, "Well, I think I've got all I need." And he goes, "Are you sure? We can shoot some more."
He wanted to talk more Dodgers too, right?
He did, and so I go, no, we're good. And he goes, "Okay," and he goes, "Listen, you ever come to a game? You let me know." Blah blah blah. And anyway, that was it.
Yeah, so you have all these backstories, which I think is what our viewer wanted to know, or for you to expound upon. Sharon Stone.
I photographed Sharon Stone in her house. And what was most amazing, this was back...
Did she have her panties on?
Oh, yeah. What's really amazing, she came to the door. When I knocked on the door...
She came herself?
She opens the door up, and I have to tell you, in person, she was stunning.
Really?
I mean,
heard that.
absolutely... I mean, just stunning.
I've heard that.
And it was just... I mean, when I first looked at her, I'm like... I remember my expression. I must have dropped the jaw because I didn't expect her to come to the door. Can I help you? And I'm like, "I'm here to photograph you." And she goes, "Oh yeah, come on in." So, but anyway, that was just what was so amazing. And I photographed Brooke Shields and Carmen Electra, and
they all have such different personas too. Yet you seem to capture the essence of each persona, which is
and the thing is, they only give you like 10 minutes to do it.
Oh, I see.
That's always the case. I got like 5 minutes. I got 10 minutes. Whatever. It's usually 5. You get 10 if you push.
Well, they have to step up to the plate too and be able to just throw that out there for 10 minutes.
And
I
what's
could never
funny
do that.
is most motion picture actors hate still shoots. They hate being frozen in time because it's really them.
Right.
They're not a character.
Whoa.
So you have to kind of get them animated.
That's a very good point.
You have to get them animated to get them to catch, and that's why he was animated there. He's like he's not himself there. He is himself, but he's not thinking about it.
You're right. He wasn't thinking about himself. Well, I hate to cut this short. I cannot tell you how much I have enjoyed having you on the show, and
thanks so much
obviously
for
viewers
having
are
me.
enjoying it. We've had just a rush of questions. We're going to have to come back and do this when we have more time.
Real quick, favorite
Yes.
lens? I use zooms.
Yay.
I have zoom lenses, and from super wide 1740 all the way up to a 120 to 300 f2.8, but all not variable aperture. They're all a constant aperture lens,
Right.
either a 2.8 or a 4.
Should have charged for that.
Yes.
We have to sign off. I
yeah.
gotta go. I hate to do it. Go to my website, www.vegasonlyentertainment.com, for more Vegas updates. And don't forget about the Red Roof Inn on Paradise. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
And email me if you want more questions answered.
Always.